Okay, so another reading I want to do is on Matt Gaetz. It was announced today that has been an investigation opened up into him having a relationship with a 17-year-old girl. And he's also been acting strange lately. So it's like you suspect he saw this, he knew this was coming. He's announced that he wants to retire from Congress early and have his own news show on Newsmax. And then suddenly this is reported by the New York Times today that he's under investigation for dating a 17-year-old. Sorry, I said dating. The accurate term is trafficking. And I guess like flying her around and all that and doing sort of financial favors for her or something. Just weird. And it's interesting because he was friends with this guy who is now, I believe, in jail, or he is at least under arrest and awaiting trial on child trafficking kind of charges, like finding teenage girls to be like a sugar daddy to, like really creepy stuff. And Matt Gaetz and this guy was running for office in Florida, and Matt Gaetz was like supporting this guy, and they were like, you know, buds supporting one another. And then that guy got arrested, and it was actually through that investigation that they found this situation with Matt and this girl. So just the irony of it all, right? I'm glad stuff's coming out on them, but it's just like disgusting, just awful. The hypocrisy. So let's see. Looking into Matt Gaetz. What do we want to know? Yeah. Let's just see, how is he doing and what's to come for him, really? Is he going to have his own show on Newsmax, or is he going to have a lot of trouble? Let's see, Matt Gaetz. How are things going to go for him moving forward? How is he doing and how will things go? Okay, so this is a lot. Right off the bat, there's a tremendous amount of grief and pain in his life right now. No surprise there, considering this Five of Cups covered by a Two of Swords. So this is just a card of loss and drama anyway. I felt it as, and I'm gonna swear, pardon me if you don't like swearing, but oh shit, I'm screwed, is what I feel here. Like your stomach sinking, like, oh God, oh God. Covered by this Two of Swords, this is a card of protecting oneself. Oftentimes it's the girl is blindfolded, she's got two swords in front of her. This is another cool deck I'm using called the Cosmic Tarot, but yeah, the pictures are a little different sometimes, but yeah, there's a self-protectiveness, so that makes sense. And in the Two of Swords, often, like I said, the figure is blindfolded, so it's sort of like a playing dumb, or, you know, obviously denying and protecting. I recorded this before his Tucker Carlson interview, or actually I probably recorded this while the interview was happening, which is interesting because he was doing exactly that, playing dumb, denying everything, and desperately protecting himself. Eight of Swords on the surface, I mean, he's trapped in this. He can't get out. There's no way out. He's trapped. At the base, Three of Swords. Three swords through the heart. I mean, have you ever seen such bad cards? Couldn't happen to a creepier guy. So he's just got so much dread. It's almost like he feels like he screwed up. Now, I'm not saying that he doesn't do a lot of bad things. I think he's got a lot of secrets that I see here. But he's just mad at himself for this one. I keep thinking about how Three of Swords through the heart is a death blow, and he knows it. He feels it in his gut. Whatever facade or fan base he's built, he can't come back from this. And I keep thinking of the plane tickets he bought for traveling with this girl. I think that's what implicates him. That's the death blow. And in his mind, that's where he screwed up. And he can't believe he did that, and it's killing him. In the near past, Five of Wands, I think he was fighting this, battling against this for a little while. This is a card of, a battle, fighting. This is also his personality. What he tends to put out there to be popular is to be the guy who battles, but I'm feeling this as more like he did see this coming. And then it makes sense in the fact that he started announcing he was going to be retiring from Congress early and doing these other things. I was also wondering, I think he recently announced in the last couple months that he's getting married, to a grown woman. But this just feels like he's been battling this for a little while. And then what we have coming, you can see I got clarifiers on this because I couldn't quite figure out what the sun is doing here, right? The sun card is a brand new day. It's a very positive card. In this context, it could be saying that the light is going to be shined upon something or upon this person. We're going to see things clearly. I can't help, sometimes with the sun card, I think of it also as S-O-N, the child, the son. I know he has a son, an adopted son that he kept a secret for a long time, which was very creepy. Correction, the boy is not his son. There was never a formal adoption, and the kid actually had family of his own in Florida, but Matt still referred to him as his son, probably to explain why he was living with and supporting a teenage boy. And then also, he is a son himself to a father who has helped him with his connections. I see a lot of the money and connections in this that they turn to get out of things. And his father has helped him in the past. There's some things that Matt Gaetz was involved in college, and he got out of all of it. But I'm not saying all of that's coming out. It's just stuff I'm thinking of. This sun card, I would say, is shining a light. And especially, I'll show you the clarifiers I got. We have a Prince of Swords and the Moon card, like this. So I think this is the guy. This is the guy who provided the girl, who had this little operation he had going that sounds like it was trafficking young women, underage women, maybe boys, I don't know, in order to use them, provide for them and use them, however, I guess. It's awful. And then this moon card. So when you have the sun and the moon, it's like the light shining on the secrets and the darkness. And you think of the moon, what happened after dark? You know what I mean? So I do think that means that this, if you look at Twitter right now, no one's talking about anything else. There's a light being shined upon this guy. And we're going to see a lot of his secrets are going to come to light. And maybe it will. Maybe people will start to look more closely at him and all the strange things from his past that he's gotten away with. And, does he have a thing for underage people? And in that case, is there something strange about the fact that he had a teenage man living with him? I said teenage man, of course, he was a teenage boy as an adult, and he was secretive about it. Anyway, for entertainment purposes only, I don't know that any of this stuff is fact that I'm sort of alluding to. It's just my read. I did do a read on that situation, and I didn't even share it because it made me uncomfortable. So there you go. Yeah. Eight of Wands, this is a lot coming at someone at once. So that makes sense. This is his current environment right now. And the world, yes, the world is a completion card. I think that it is the end of his career in Congress. Watching back, I get the end of the world for him. So yeah, a lot coming at him, and that part of his life is over. Completion. Nine of Cups, hopes and fears. I think what he's afraid of is people seeing the level of intimacy that existed in this particular allegation with this 17-year-old girl. And I also think that there have been more. I do. I think that it's more habitual or more of a habit for him, and that he is afraid of people finding out that these young people maybe aren't, he's gonna argue that he's just a nice, thoughtful, and generous guy. Ugh. I think that's gonna be his defense. And so, yeah, but then there were something, there was more to it, and he does not want people to know that. I mean, that's the excuse he makes when it comes to these underage people being in his life. He wants to help them. He is not, as if that's how nice a guy he is that he wants to help these young people. I don't know. That's his argument anyway, but this card does make me feel like there was more to it. More intimacy. Now, I'm afraid for the outcome. Two of Pentacles is like a juggling. It's like things are up in the air. It's like, we'll see how things go. There's something about this guy also with this attitude of sort of skating by, like he's just like tiptoeing by, right? Out of this mess. So Two of Pentacles is just not a straight answer as far as what the future holds for him. Six of Wands is a card of triumph. Ten of Pentacles is a card of great wealth. And then we have the Strength card here. So I'm afraid he may get out of this, and it would be because of his money and connections. This isn't just money, this is like generational kind of wealth. And sometimes I think people do get away with it, but the truth will still be, we'll see some truths here that are gonna put an end to him, his career, and I do see in some of these side stories that maybe he kind of he's not going to get the support he wants in life. Like I got this in his other read that I did on him too. Like sort of the same kind of thing. He just sort of goes on to live this life of a wealthy, privileged person, but he, not necessarily happy and not the support of the public. Kind of like he ends up just doing nothing with the rest of his life. And then this Strength card beneath the surface. It's like, I want to read this as the case is strong against him. It's just hard with these other cards that just make me feel like he skates away. This kind of takes me to like connections. He's got enough connections that he sort of gets out of it, I'm afraid. I hope I'm wrong, and the outcome could change as time goes by, which could be the message of the Two of Pentacles. After I pulled this initial Two of Pentacles, I got a little story here. Yeah, this would be sort of how he manages to argue his side. Because this would be like, there's this side and there's this side. And this Five of Swords is a sort of way of being like a trickery. He's going to have his own story, this Ace of Swords. Here's my side of the story. I believe we have the girl here, this Princess of Wands, and he's a King of Cups. Oh, I'm just such an emotional guy. I care so much about people, and that's why I gave her all that money or attention. A Seven of Pentacles is like wanting to watch something grow. So what I read with this, with the Hermit card here, is he's hoping to grow support like he does, you know, in all of his other like lie narratives where he gets everybody riled up to support him. But the Hermit card tells me, first of all, you can see in the Seven Pentacles, what he's planting is not growing. This is not a fertile land. And the Hermit is like, you're going to be on your own. You're not going to get that support from your supporters. Like, you're not Mr. Popular and everyone's going to get behind you. So then after I had pulled all of these, I also glanced at the bottom. I think he pays. Is there a way that you can get out of these things? Yeah, like settling, like he settles. Because I see an Ace of Pentacles, which would be a payment, and the Star, and this Queen of Pentacles. Like perhaps he settles. I'm not sure if she's the one suing him though, or what. I don't know what kind of, if it's Department of Justice, you can't settle, can you? I wonder if this is indicating a civil case that comes out of this. Maybe the girl or her family does sue him in civil court and he does end up paying a giant payout at some point, at least financially. Or this could be here to explain how he skates out of the current mess he's in by paying off the star witness to keep quiet, which may be worth her while if it's a life-changing amount of money. Somehow I feel this girl gets paid, or we learn that she got paid well. Which is, of course, an indictment of him, not her, as she was a child. But anyway, I think there might be something to that. And like I said, like I would not judge if there's a young woman who wants to move on with her life. I don't judge that. You know, there does seem to be a financial payment here, a Star card, which would be, you know, like could be a hope for a future for someone. This Queen of Pentacles, perhaps being able to take care of herself. But again, I don't know the logistics of whether this is realistic, but that's what I'm feeling here. Just to completely complicate things even more, it now just broke that there actually may have been an attempt to extort Gaetz and his family out of $25 million to make the underage sex trafficking allegations go away. And I'm too tired to wrap my head around that right now, but it's possibly being referenced here as well in that Ace of Pentacles, which is a large amount of money. And I'm sorry this reading is all over the place, but so is the reality, it turns out. And now I wonder if the Two of Pentacles at the end is showing that ultimately Matt Gaetz will be juggling more than one criminal case at once, as it is true that the FBI is investigating both cases. So maybe he tries to weasel out that way, but in reality, one does not negate or diminish the other. And I'll read on this again as energies settle and we get closer to an outcome to see if there's a more definitive answer then. And then I'm just feeling stuff on his life. I feel like his mom's here, this Nine of Pentacles. This just is where I just feel like his life, this payment is to get out of the situation. This Five of Pentacles upside down, he wants to get out of this like crazy situation. This Ten of Swords is like, he's over, he's done. Like this would be like the worst thing that could happen. He somehow gets out of it, it's upside down. This is another worst thing, loses everything. They get out of it somehow. And they do it to get everyone to stop, you know, they stop fighting. They somehow make it disappear, I'm afraid. But then we do have a High Priestess here, like I said, kind of like this Sun and Moon card. Like, people know. Like, this is like a very knowing spiritual presence. And that's why I do think he ends up kind of alone. He's not going to have the support or the popularity. I know it's not the most satisfying ending when you think someone deserves to go to jail, but, you know, karma has its way of playing out exactly right. So maybe he needs to feel like he got away with something, which is, oh, this is like getting away with something. Maybe he needs to feel like he got away with something and then suffer the rest of his life because everybody sees right through it all and it's shameful. So that's what I get on that. Let me know what you get on your end, or if you saw anything in the cards or anything else you want to comment on. And I thank you for watching. I enjoy sharing my reads with you guys, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.